before the Fast and the Furious movies turned the import tuning community into an overblown, glowing neon, bewinged faux carbon fiber joke, the Honda Civic Si reigned supreme. It was the pinnacle of Honda's subcompact lineup, and the kids loved it. Now here we are. The import racing bubble may have burst, but Honda's still seen fit to introduce a new Civic Si. So what do we think?
It's a different beast than in years past. Somewhere in the development of the 9th generation Civic, Honda discovered torque. That's the stuff that lets you accelerate without shifting first. Honda engines are known for making their power through revs, comfortably spinning up the red line whenever the driver needs to move with gusto. In contrast, the new Civic Si uses a bump and displacement to increase torque 22% and move that power lower in the rev range. The improved drivability is nice, but it doesn't free the driver from their obligation to rev the hell out of it if they really want to harness all 201 horsepower that the 2.4 liter has to offer. The car encourages you to do so with a little IV Tech light that pops on left of the speedometer. It lets you know you're driving the car like it wants to be driven. These other lights let you know when it's time to shift, a useful feature since the only transmission offered is a 6-speed manual. Consider the manual transmission the velvet rope. If you can't figure out how to get around it, you don't belong in Club Si. There's also a power meter that lets you know, in terms of percentage, how much of the engine's output you're using. It seems useless, but now I know, unequivocally, it took 63% to pass that Prius. If you regularly use all 100%, you'll be happy to know that the Civic Si features a limited slip differential. Good thing, since peg leg burnouts look ridiculous. Also nice, when exiting a corner, planting the throttle results in acceleration and not a spinning and burning inside tire. Chassis control comes from performance-tuned springs, dampers, and stabilizer bars. I actually like the way the Civic Si handles. It's responsive, predictable, and there's plenty of grip to play with, especially for buyers who spring for the optional summer tires. On a related note, the Civic has one of the smallest diameter steering wheels I've ever seen. Look how tiny this thing is! I like a gentle dusting of go-kart in my sporty coupes.
Visually distinguishing the Si from the rest of the Civic lineup are revised front and rear fascias, 17-inch wheels, and a rear wing. Of course, all that stuff is added to the 9th generation Civic, which doesn't look that different from the 8th generation Civic. See? Other SI-specific goodies include front seats with added side bolstering and red stitching, a red glowing instrument panel, the sunburst orange pearl paint option, and larger 11.8-inch diameter front brake rotors. Oh, and fuel economy is 22 in the city and 31 on the highway, in case you care. Pricing starts around $23,000 for the Civic Si Coupe. There's also an Si sedan that costs $200 more, but is surprisingly only about 20 pounds heavier. Given what it is and what it costs, the Civic Si sits amid some formidable competition. For $19 grand, you could buy the 173 horsepower Kia Forte Coupe or the 180 horsepower Scion TC, each about $5,000 cheaper than the Si. Or add an extra $1,400 to the Si's price tag, and you could get a Mazda Speed 3, which offers 62 horsepower and 110 pound-feet of torque more than the Civic. Or how about this? For basically the same price as the Civic Si, why not buy a Hyundai Genesis Coupe? You'll enjoy an extra 9 horsepower, and you'll be spinning the rear tires. Drift day, anyone?
By the numbers, there are plenty of alternatives to the Honda Civic Si, but numbers don't tell you everything. Smart engineering, great reliability, and good resale values are some of the reasons people buy Hondas. The Civic Si just takes all those traits, balls them up, and covers them in a thin candy shell of raciness. With that, it'll spark a resurgence of the import tuning glory days of the 90s, but for those who like Hondas, the Civic Si still has some life in it.